All right, y'all. So let's move on to our next topic and let's talk about Bobby Brown, who is throwing shade at Britney Spears' cover of My Prerogative. So he recently did an interview with Club Shay on Club Shay Shay. I don't even know if the interview has been dropped yet because I just like today when I saw the article just now, like literally maybe like 30 minutes before I went live at the show. That's why I added it real quick because I was like trying to put the show together. Then I was like, oh, this sounds like a good one. Now I got to move some things around, take some stuff out, and add this in. So yeah, apparently he did an interview on Club Shay Shay. I believe that the episode hasn't aired yet. But when he went in, he basically said that he don't particularly care for Britney's cover of My Prerogative. And just a reminder, I had to literally listen to um both songs. Well, I know what Bobby Brown's My Prerogative sound like, but I had to go and remind myself what Britney's version sound like just to refresh my memory. And I got thoughts on it, so we'll talk after I finish reading the Variety article. So shout out to them. So now, no stranger to speaking the truth. Bobby Brown said he isn't a fan of Britney Spears' cover of his 1988 hit single, My Prerogative. Spears' cover served as a single to her first Greatest Hits album, Greatest Hits by Prerogative, in 2004, which I actually bought. I got the CD upstairs, somewhere in a box in storage. I said upstairs, like storage is upstairs. But anyway, so he said Britney Spears butchered My Prerogative. This is what he told Shannon Sharp on the Lattice Club Shay Shay podcast. Now, Sharp had he asked him what he believed was the best use of sampling from another artist using his music. He said, I don't think they did it justice. And said, I don't think they really did justice to any of the samples that they have done to my songs. At this point, Brown referenced Spears, adding that her cover of his 1980s, his 80s single was a butchering. But I'm trying to remember what other song, I think y'all will fan out and let me know in the comments, what other songs have been sampled by him, what other songs of his has been sampled that outside of Britney can he be talking about? Because I can't think of off the top of my head. Yeah, the only song I know that they did was that. Did anybody like sample Don't Be Cruel? Did anybody do any of the songs that he did from the New Edition era? Like, I don't know. I can't think of any off the top of my head. The only song I know is the Britney song. So then he said Teddy Riley produced it, but that was a butchering that I just couldn't take it. I cleared it only because it was Britney Spears, and I was thinking Teddy Riley is doing it too. So, so he only cleared it because it was like Britney Spears was a huge star. He knew he would probably, get a good amount of coin out of it. And that's why he made the decision to go along with that song. So I was like, oh yeah, Britney Spears is going to cover it. Oh, I'll give me a little something. I'll get a little pieces, a little something out of it. But then I guess he heard it and he was like, well, damn, that's what y'all did with this track. He also explained that this was a lesson to him to listen to samples before clearing or allowing others to use his music. Say, I got to hear it in order for it to be clear because you don't know what these kids will say these days. These kids say some ish that you don't want your song associated with it. Now, released in the midst of Spears' hiatus, Greatest Hits by Prerogative was introduced with this cover, which differs from the original version with added synthesizers, drums, and a modern R&B flow. Spears also switches up the pronouns to be from a female's perspective and included a sultry introduction where she says people can take everything away from you, but they can never take away your truth. But the question is, can you handle mine? Well, girl, quiet as a kept, you can't even handle your own truth. So, look, I like Britney. Britney has been through a lot, but I will say this. That rendition of My Prerogative that they did of her, like her cover, it just wasn't good. I didn't like the production on it. I mean, the production was cute. Wherever they were trying to go for like this, like the Indian, like the bongos. It felt like it was like having like this sultry Indian vibe to it. It kind of felt like it was in there. And then, I guess it was supposed to be like a sexy rendition, but to be honest, I didn't like her vocals on it because it was just too much whispering. It was like literally like barely their vocals. You're cooing all over the track. It wasn't giving what needed to be given. So I do agree with him that it was just like, I'm not feeling it. And he has every right to feel the way he feels about it. Because I would have asked, well, did the check clear? So it's like you didn't really like the song, but did the check clear at the end of the day? So that wasn't the only thing he said, by the way. He also gave his opinion on Usher and Chris Brown because, one Brown to another Brown. Because in the interview, he also gets it on the Usher Chris Brown debate where he was asked by Uncle Shay Shay, who does he think? I mean, what? Who does he think? What does he think of the current? Who does he think in this generation is at the level of the King of Pop, Michael Jackson? So basically, he said, "I will go with Chris Brown." Chris Brown is a dancer, singer, and great entertainer. He goes out there and he does the ultimate stuff on stage, and you just have to love it. Bobby was sure to clarify that he loves Usher as well, saying that Usher is a great entertainer, but I've got to go with Chris on being as close to Michael as anybody could ever get. So, and I've said that over the years. I've said that the thing about Chris Brown, when you look at him, Chris Brown is the closest. Child, I just saw some breaking news, but hold on, I gotta save that after I finish what I gotta say here. So I do agree that when you look at a Chris Brown is the closest that we get that gets up on that stage and performs his ass off in regards to performing like Michael Jackson style level. But then again, when you talk about Usher, a lot of people think Usher is the same way. When you look at someone like Usher is that all around. How do you explain it? Like he's just that all around showman, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. He's a showman at the end of the day. And the people live for Usher. So I don't understand why, because I was like trying to look for there was an article that I saw where they said that his Epic Past, Present, and Future tour basically cements him as music's leading showman. So he's doing a 10-night run at the O2 Arena in London. So that's basically like, so look, Usher is somebody who is literally a worldwide phenomenon. Like he could literally go and do 10 nights in London or in certain places and just really have that show. And I guess the Brits are living for him out there. So he's got like a 10-night residency, which I've never heard of artists doing something like that, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna spend 10 nights at this arena doing the show. The O2 is iconic. So I could definitely see like Chris Brown, and then Usher, and then Chris Brown. I just heard he's extending his stadium tour that he has going on. Who's with that with him? Summer Walker? So he's, they're both successful in their own right, regardless of all the negative press that Chris Brown's been getting, whether you love him or hate him or whatever. He's selling out stadiums. The people still live for him. So the industry may have canceled him. The industry may have counted him out. The industry may have just kind of tossed him to the side or whatever the case is. But Chris Brown is still out here doing his thing. And they may not give him his flowers or his accolades, but it ain't up to them. Like a Billboard commentary or Rolling Stone and their list or whatever does not determine how people view whatever it is that they view. And it's funny I'm saying this because I got a chart that I got to go into later on regarding Billboard. So Bobby Brown has his opinion. And I guess it is what it is. So I want to know what you guys think of this story. I mean, do you agree with Bobby Brown on his thoughts, not only on Britney Spears, but also Usher and Chris Brown, saying that Chris Brown is the closest that we have to that epic Michael Jackson status? Like I will say, as a performer, yes, but but in regards to the songs, I mean, maybe except 11:11. 11:11 was him getting back to basics and really like showing his maturity and stuff. But like he put out a lot of previous albums before. It was like, okay, you got 40 tracks on this record. It's too much. I can't even get through all of it. And it was like a lot of the songs wasn't really given what needs to be given. But recently, it's like, okay, Chris Brown has gotten his return to form and all that other stuff. So yeah, so I definitely want to hear from you all. So let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below.